Hey, everybody. Just wanted to, if you just joined the stream, we are all in studio this week. And Jason is, as he normally does, he's running a smidge late. So we're going to wait until he arrives to actually start the live stream. But the stream is live. We're just not doing a show until he gets here, hopefully in the next 2 to 3 minutes. So hang tight. We'll be with you soon. Go with God. Hey, everybody, welcome into the WTH podcast. Look who it is! It's all of us! What? We're all in the same room. Socially distanced. We're all vaccinated. We're all in the same room. We're all socially distanced. Jason, welcome to the world.
Fucking A, man.
Good to have you back.
Nice to be back.
It sure is.
And it's my fault we're late.
That's not unusual.
Yeah.
And it kind of is. I've been on time for the last couple of weeks at least.
Well, your camera's been on.
Yeah.
Have you been in place and ready to do the show? Not always. But, c'est la vie. Welcome to the new studio space, Jason. Your first time here.
Yeah, man.
It should look mildly familiar, as it's set up kind of similar to the old space.
But condensed.
This room that we're in now is not as big as the big room in the old space.
Which is fine.
There's no need for it to be.
No need. No.
I like it. It's nicer. Spiffier, so to speak.
Yeah.
The sign behind Jason is going to be hung on the wall soon. If I could, I have to find the remote control for the LED lights because I put it in a very important place so I wouldn't lose it, and then I can't find it. But I have more LED lights if I have to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm set to do that if I can't figure that out. But we'll get it all done. Before we get going on the show today, I want to thank Kevin Fontana for our theme music once again. If you want to learn about guitar, check out Kevin Fontana's YouTube channel, and he will teach you how to play guitar. Kareem is fully committed to his mask. He's wearing it as a chin strap.
Yes.
Are you a Placer County resident?
I forgot I had it all.
Kareem's doing Halloween as a Placer County resident. He lives in Roseville or something. That's what we're going to do. Coming up in the show today, we've got morons from other countries.
Nice.
Once. Yeah, we've got our own, too. Yes. Don't forget about that. Plus, we've got the return of sex toy news.
Woohoo!
Coming back. And we are not going to have small town news to end the show. We've got something a little bit different this time, and I thought it'll be fun.
Was it submitted by KLJ?
It was not.
Oh, okay.
It was not. He's not giving us anything. Oh. No small town news, no nothing. There wasn't a lot of small town news out there to be had this week. So many of the small town papers gone behind the paywall, and I'm not willing to pay for their terrible content. Sorry about that. I did try to subscribe to my hometown weekly terrible paper, the Barton Chronicle, and they don't have their online figured out. So they're like, it says, sometimes it doesn't work. Call the office to get set up. And their office hours are like 9 a.m. till 1 Eastern.
Oh, dope.
Right, yeah. I mean, they are the absolute prototypical small town weekly paper. I mean, they've been around for a long, long time, and good for them. But what they put online for their content is like the first paragraph of a story.
I wonder, like, at what point. It's sad. I mean, like, it's important to have, these hometown newspapers.
Yeah, and they need to make money to be able to meet their costs and all of that. I get it.
But at the same time, I mean, they've been struggling for 40 years. I mean, I remember when I was growing up, like, the weekly newspaper moving, like, when I lived in Paradise, there was the Paradise Post.
Sure.
And the only way the Paradise Post kept the Post going, I'm 100% sure of this, is the fact that they printed up the Sacramento News and Review, the Tahoe News and Review, like all of the news and reviews, and because they just printed up everybody else's stuff.
Sure, because they had the printing press.
Because they had the big press there.
Yeah.
But then they went down to 3 days a week, and then Saturday and Sunday, and then it was just like 2 days in the week, and then Saturday and Sunday, and then it was like 2 days in the week, and then Sunday.
Right.
I mean, that was in like 1998.
Which seems like yesterday to me, but was much, much longer ago than you would think.
I wish they had a paywall.
Almost 20 years. No, it's 21 years. 21, 22,
22, 23?
23? Oh,
yeah. 22, 23, yeah.
There are people who graduated from college that weren't born then.
Dude, all they need to do to check your ID now is see if there's a 19 in the birth year.
Son of a bitch.
Wow.
Think about that.
Let that sink in.
Fuck.
By the way, has anybody said let that sink in on social media too lately?
No, I punch him in the face.
Yep. Out with you.
I mean,
with you if that's what you're doing. I have no interest in you if that's let that sink in.
and that's hyperbole. I will not punch you in the face.
I will.
Let me turn off the notifications. I had them on because I wanted to be able to hear when Jason texted me that he arrived. Wow, it's so weird having everybody back. It's been so long. Over a year.
Over a year.
Over a year. Oh, man. Unbelievable. Still baffled by the whole thing. I want to thank all the people who listen to the show around the world, whether you watch us on Facebook or YouTube, or whether you download the show later on. Australia, India, across Europe, the U.S., our Canadian listeners, we do appreciate you taking the time and making us part of what you do. Weird times in Canada. They don't have the vaccine to the same levels that we do. So there is talk that they're going to shut down Ontario again.
What?
The most populous province, maybe shut down again because of COVID,
Wow.
Wow.
because they don't have the amount of vaccine that we have here. And that's been the big push. What was really funny is you remember when Trump could have bought even more vaccine than he did,
Yeah.
but he didn't. Which could have fucked us royally, but turns out did not, thankfully.
Yeah.
We are at 50% of U.S. adults have now had at least the first of the 2 shots for people who are
great.
getting the 2 shots. So
Good.
we are getting what is it, 80% we need to get to for herd immunity?
I thought it was 70, but you might be
It-
right.
and it's one of those things where they have a sliding scale.
Sure.
Like it's like 70 to 80.
Right.
Um,
So we're getting there.
Jason knows he's the insurance man.
That's true.
well, my wife too. Like we've been keeping up on, but like it's one of those things. Like I have such little like faith in like half of this country right now.
Okay, just go to the Facebook page of any news outlet and read the comments there.
Yeah, no, it literally that's one of the reasons that TikTok is one of the few things that I look at anymore.
Oh,
because like when I go to Facebook, I end up looking at comments because I want to see what other people's opinions are, and then all of a sudden I realize that I don't want to know any of these people's opinions because every single one of them, and then I go and then I fall into this hole and time suck. Who the fuck? What type of person says this? And I look at their profile. And then like
That's a picture of them with their kids.
yeah, and it's like like they have a bunch of some church posts. I'm like, and it's like
God and family.
yeah, it's like what the fuck's the matter with this person? Like who the like? So then I'm like down this, and then I get upset, and I'm like, anyhow, like I've wasted 30, 40 minutes like before like some stupid shit like that, and I'm like I don't want. So anyhow, the only reason I'm on Facebook is to promote shows, and go to TikTok because it. Anyhow.
Right.
If we get past 70%, I'll be like, all right. If we get to 80%, I'll be like, I have regained some faith in my fellow human beings.
And it's
Americans.
It's going to be interesting to see what it is from state to state because some aren't going to do that well in terms of percentage.
Yeah.
Others will do fine, and we'll see where we are. What was the latest? The tentative quote unquote back to normal date was like June 15th.
Yeah.
If vaccinations continue at their current rate, and there's no reason to think they won't as long as people continue to get them. So that's fantastic news. So there we're going to be positive. We're going to be positive about it. So there you go.
As long as you're not COVID positive.
Yeah, right. I'm not just sure. I'm HIV positive. An old South Park joke, kids.
Yeah.
Kareem, what do you want to talk about this week?
Dude, there's so much shit going on. I didn't even get a chance to think about this.
What, a black man in America has stuff going on that's troubling him?
Oh my God.
On your mind?
Really?
What?
No.
Man, people in my life are trying to give me a stroke.
Oh, so Kareem's not even going out to the world.
No.
It's all coming to him.
I was like, fuck. So my mom has been sick,
Right.
and we've done pretty much everything that we can to make her life easier.
Mm-hmm.
But the more shit that we do to make her life easier, the more she fucks up the shit that we do.
Oh, well, that's frustrating.
So, like, you know, you make it so that, and she says, oh, well, I don't want to be a burden. It's like, yeah, we made it so that you wouldn't be a burden, but now you've messed up the plan that we put in place so that you wouldn't be a burden.
You've found a way to become a burden. Thanks.
Yes. Like, we've done everything that we can to make everything as smooth as possible, but you are not helping us at all.
Man, that's tough.
And she always has to bring other people in, and they tell her a bunch of stuff that is not necessarily so.
Oh, boy.
Like, oh, somebody doesn't know her, like, for the, 50 some odd years that you've known her.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, you're killing me. So that's been my that's been my week. And then she called me on my way here to tell me that she did something else to upset the apple cart. I'm just like, I don't even know what to do right now.
Isn't that one of those crazy things when you have siblings in your or people in your life that just like you've known so long?
Yeah.
Like not saying this about my brother, but I've known my brother his entire life.
What?
So I've known him, but I mean, like I really know. We've been pretty close my whole life. I know him better than he knows himself. You know what I mean? I can truly say that about him. Like there's few people I could say that about, and then they get somebody that doesn't really know them and then telling them some bullshit.
Yeah. Like last week, the DMV suspended her driver's license because of her medical issues, and then she was like, "Oh, it's real." And I was like, "Yeah, I've been telling you this for 6 years."
Oh, no.
Like, I've been telling you that this is what's going to happen if you didn't do the stuff that you needed to take care of yourself over this time period. It's like, oh my God, now it's real. Like, yeah, it's been real.
Now it's real. It's the real.
Oh my goodness.
I just realized Kareem's camera's not plugged in. So it's a Russian roulette as to whether we'll run out of juice over there. So I'm going to do something about it in a second. Jason, what do you want to talk about?
I know we're trying to keep things positive. I want to talk. I got fucking pissed the fuck off this week. I went to Fairy Tale Town because you have to reserve your time there, right? And it was a weekday. It was a Thursday, so I thought that it wouldn't be too crazy busy. I got there at 10:30. My mom came over because she's fully vaccinated, so now she can spend some time with the kids.
Yeah.
And we get there, and very first, like they tell you right at the beginning, you're walking in, one family per attraction, that they're having cleaning crews come in and stuff like that. Get to the first thing, and there's a family playing there, and the kids playing on the old lady's shoe and stuff like that. And I'm not going to try to push anybody off of it, but it's a slide. But I'm letting them play around, and I'm telling my kids, hey, hold on a second, one family at a time. And I'm saying it not to be loud enough to where the other person, I'm saying it loud enough so the other person hears me, but really I'm saying it to my kid, Yeah. So eventually they leave, so we go, and we're waiting. I'm waiting for CJ to climb up the ladder, and some other kid tries to cut in line. I'm like, oh, no, one family at a time, And then CJ's like,
Yeah.
And she's not Alma. Alma will climb up that shit right away. CJ is a little bit more, and then as CJ gets spooked, then Alma's kind of spooked too. So kind of playing with that. All right, let's go to the next attraction. So we go to the next thing, but just then there's people just not wearing masks. You're supposed to wear a mask, and there's signs and there's all this stuff posted everywhere there. It's not even it's like these are the rules. Try to abide by them. And I know that there might be another family of kids on a thing at one time with us, and I'm okay with that if the kids are, if I see that the parents are both masked up properly, because I know that they give a shit, and then if the kid, if they're over 2, is wearing a mask. That wasn't the case. Anything. So it was just we would move along and kind of take our, fill the voids and spaces and kind of move in and out, but just so fucking ridiculous, man. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, masks on a 2-year-old are a questionable thing, just because
They're 2 years old.
They're 2 years old. And
yeah.
there's a difference between like 2 years and a month or two and almost 3.
Right. Yeah. No.
There's a huge difference.
And
in
they
terms
actually
of-
have a thing in there saying 3-year-olds and above. Like if your kid, like
yeah, that's what the Monterey Bay Aquarium is going to be requiring
Yeah.
is 3 and above.
3 and above. But because CJ's always seen mommy and daddy wear their masks, CJ has no problem wearing her mask.
Right.
And
And,
right.
and how old is she?
At 4.
Yeah.
And Alma has no problem wearing her mask because she sees CJ wearing her mask.
Okay.
You know, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So, like, I think that there's a line, like, I'm not going to give a family a hard time if a 2-year-old's not wearing it. Like, I wasn't necessarily making Alma wear hers the whole time unless she wanted to.
Right.
Which she wants to. So I'm going to let her wear it, dude.
Of course.
I'm going to let her wear it. You know, and yeah, it's just so ridiculous. So don't go. No, I mean, go. I mean, it's probably fine. That's the thing. It's probably fucking fine, dude. We're out in the air. It's breezy out. The UV rays are out. It's probably okay.
Yeah.
But there's fucking rules for a reason. It's not too hard to like follow the rules somewhat, you know? I mean, and I understand there's going to be some people that don't. But it's like 50%, 40% of the people that just don't give a fuck. And it's, of course, it is that. It's going to be overwhelmingly almost more people that don't give a fuck
Sure.
because they're out because they don't give a fuck.
Well, and they're, I'm sure, of the same mindset that I'm outside.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Yeah.
There and that's if you walk around Midtown, most of the people who are on the street are not wearing their masks. They'll put them on to go in places, and some people have them pulled down. They've got them, so it's not like they're not going to wear them. It's just when they're out walking somewhere, they're not necessarily wearing them. But you do see some people who are running with a mask on. So 6 to 1, half a dozen to another. But I mean, we're getting there.
Yeah.
You're vaccinated now.
Yeah, and that's why it's hard for me to, like, but my kids aren't. And I understand that kids generally aren't catching it at the same rate and spreading it at the same rate. Or they're usually positive, like asymptomatic.
The big thing is that if people are staying away,
Yeah.
like you're maintaining that distance and you're outside,
You're fine.
The odds are you're totally fine.
Yeah.
The odds are you're totally fine. I want to talk about the fact that so this medically supervised weight loss that I've been doing, I just finished week 9. Week 9 ended on Sunday. And as of this morning, I have officially hit the 50 pounds lost mark.
Damn.
I have 3 weeks left of this soul-sucking nightmare that I'm in the middle of. That is the big payoff is you lose weight, which is great. The process sucks for me, and we'll come out of it, and then there's the transition back. But and I already knew this, but I have a bit of a hernia in my navel, in my belly button. And I know that, I've known it, but now that I've lost 50 pounds, it shows. Like, I can see it. It doesn't hurt. There's no, but I have to get it taken care of.
Yeah.
Which, of course, stresses me the fuck out. Because even if it's just the littlest surgery, it's a surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anytime you get surgery on that part of your body, it means for whatever period of time, you can't lift anything
At all.
at all. And I don't know if you noticed, I got a business here I'm doing stuff with. So it's going to be a challenge. I think we're going to try and time it with Leslie is going to be taking parental leave from her job because, of course, we now have a second foster to adopt child that we have. And she's going to be doing like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off for starting sometime in May and going through the end of the year to take the parental leave. So I think we're going to try and time it where I get the procedure at the beginning of one of her leave runs so that she's there picking up the 2-year-old. I won't be able to pick up the 2-year-old for however long. She's like 28, 29 pounds. So won't be able to pick her up. The little one is got to be getting close to 10. He's getting close to 10, and that is about the place where they go, don't pick it up. I mean, I don't know what they're going to say with me. They may go, fuck it, do what you want.
Yeah, And
We'll
he's
see.
a cutie.
I'm trying. What's that?
I said he's a cutie.
I'm trying to think of when I got my hernia surgery, what they told me.
What?
But that was before we had CJ, so I don't think lifting things was necessarily a worry for me.
Sure. You were pushing paper and...
Yeah. I mean, I was working at the pet inn probably, I think.
Oh, there you go. So really pushing paper.
I was really pushing paper.
So yeah, that's kind of my thing. I'm like, I'm excited that I'm down 50 pounds. It's a good start to where I need to go. But it's been like the last 2 weeks has really been a mental war for me. And I've not cheated once. I'm not going to, because if I do, this is a conversation Leslie and I have, because she's been on the same program and she's done it a couple of different times. And she's like, you can just have one little thing. Stop staring at my navel. She's like, you can have just one little thing. And I said, I can't though, because if I give myself permission to do it once, then I know I'm going to give myself permission to do it again.
Yeah.
And again. And I said, you know what? Week 12, the last week, if I'm like, what would be really great? A couple of blackberries that are in the fridge. Then I'm going to treat myself to a couple of blackberries. Week 9, no.
Yeah.
No. Week 10, no.
No, don't even do it week 12, man. You're there at the finish line, bro. Just finish it. Just finish it.
Well, I'm talking like 2 berries.
No fucking berries, bro.
I'm talking 2 berries.
No.
I said if I feel like it. If I feel like it. So, hopefully the hernia surgery goes well and I don't die on the table. I don't know what it's going to be.
It's quick, easy. They're no problem for the most. Like, it was the only problem that I had with mine was that the suture that happened didn't happen well, and it got infected.
Well, that's not exciting news for me.
But I also got my. Do you have Kaiser?
No.
Okay, I had Kaiser, so you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Way to besmirch them.
They were fine. They were fine
Sure.
when I had them, but
I'm sure they were great. Let's get you infected.
I called them. Like, I was like, this doesn't look good. And like, they're like, no, it's fine. We're sure I'm like, no, it's kind of does not look like the way it should. So eventually I got in.
And then your nipple fell off.
Yeah, and they're like,
oh no.
And then they're like, oh yeah, no, there's some necrosis here. I'm like, yeah, I fucking said that there was fucking something going on here, fuckers.
Necrosis?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they're my fucking, yeah. So fuck them.
Damn. That is not okay.
So that's what I'm saying. So don't worry about it.
His belly button fell off.
Yeah, I look like Adam X.
Yeah. Bad times. It's bad times. But I need to get that fixed. Because now if I'm wearing a shirt and I look in the mirror, I can see it. Like if I turn sideways, I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, no, I can see mine also. Like it kind of does, like if I touched it, it felt weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It does feel weird.
Yeah.
And I've known it, like I said, I've known it for a while, but when there was 50 pounds more on me, didn't really know. I mean,
right.
I knew it, but I knew no one else could see it.
Right.
Now, not so much. So that's how that's going. And we went to Target on Sunday and I got new shorts, new pants. I now have skinny jeans.
Uh-oh.
My wife insisted that that's what I get. And we got home and I put them on and she said, they look good. And I said, okay, I'm going to trust you that they look good because you're not going to lie to me.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hopefully.
Jamie Foxx has a new show called Dad Stop Embarrassing Me. And he put some on. Oh man, I just saw way too much of Jamie Foxx in those.
Well, I don't think they're quite like that.
Oh man.
Oh, good.
Is it a gym sock in your shorts, Dad?
Jason, I don't know if you noticed, but I've gone full Croc.
I did. I noticed the other day.
Knockoff Crocs.
Yeah, I know.
The knockoff Crocs. They're George's.
Oh Lord,
They're George's from Walmart. $10.
Dope.
that's funny.
They're the ultimate in American in that they're red, white, and blue like a flag, and they're made in China.
Yeah, no, my girls each have Crocs, or like actually one has the George, like the George, or whatever the female version of the Georges is. If they're called, are they called Georges? Also?
I don't know.
But she has a pair of those, and my wife wants Birkenstocks now.
I have a pair of Birkenstocks. They're
Yeah, I
comfortable
know.
as hell.
It's like I'm just like, what the fuck?
What do you care? By the way,
I
something.
don't.
Why you care?
I don't.
I mean, yeah, they're kids and your wife. Don't argue. That's not a hill to die on. With
Oh, it's not without a doubt.
No.
So, anywho, just last week there were a group of Republicans, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, who were going to start something called the America First Caucus. It got a lot of blowback from even other Republicans because it's really
Racist?
Nazi-like in its ideals and thoughts. So Act Blue, Occupy Democrats tweeted out this video, and I just wanted to share it to you because it kind of explains what was going on. And once they ran it up the flagpole and everyone went like, hey, no. Then they just said, oh, I guess we won't start it then. Oh, okay. You're now not going to be like not. Okay.
The politics of America First has reared its ugly head again. Bitter words first used as a cover to hide racism, hatred, division. From those who pushed to turn our nation's back on our closest allies during World War II and ignore the murdering of millions because of their religious beliefs, to the politics of division and prejudice, of bitterness and contempt that was ushered out decisively in our last presidential election. Now, as the country marks the 100th day since our Capitol was violated, desecrated, and stained with blood, that blatant racism that is America First is now represented by a congressional caucus fueled by anger, resentment, greed, and bigotry. A caucus masquerading as the promotion of so-called Anglo-Saxon principles. But who are they kidding? This is not America First. This is Twitter first, white supremacy first, Fox News first, QAnon first, taking young girls to the Bahamas first. This is Trump first. Let's call this so-called caucus what it is. Sedition first, and hold its despicable founders accountable. Paid for by Occupy Democrats, who is solely responsible for its content.
Oh, dirty son of a...
Oh, but yeah, we're not Nazis now. It's okay. Forget about that.
Yeah. I watched a PBS special on fascism on Saturday.
Oh, it sounds like a good Saturday night.
Yeah.
It was actually Saturday day, but bruh, just watching it and seeing what's going on in the last 4 years, it's just fucking.
It's a lot.
It's like, okay, like Mussolini and Trump, the same motherfucking person. Except for Mussolini was smarter than he is. But it was just, it's surreal to watch it.
Yeah.
And then to see the stuff that's going on. It's like, and you say it can't happen again. Like, yes, it can. It was on the way to happening again. And these people are too stupid to know that it's there.
So I was listening to the Lincoln Project podcast, and they mentioned something that's very important to remember. Most coups, and that's what this was. Let's call it what it was.
Yeah.
On January 6th was a coup. It was an attempt to overthrow a free and fair election or overthrow the government. It's a coup. Most coups don't succeed on their first try. They don't even succeed on their second try. It's their sixth, their seventh, their eighth tries. As people just go, we put them down, or, you know what, people don't take them seriously, whatever. And you start to not be vigilant with what you're dealing with.
So I've been telling people about the Oath Keepers since Obama's first term.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there was some Oath Keeper stuff on the on 60 Minutes this week.
Yeah. So I've been talking about it since Obama's first term, and everybody was like, "Oh, nothing." 60 Minutes is this weekend. Like, okay.
No, SLC's had them on. I said I get the newsletter from the SLC. In fact, Alex and I signed up with them, donated some money like 10 years ago when they're out in front of the Safeway.
They get me too. I got my newsletter and booklet this afternoon in the mail. But yeah, it's you got to pay a fucking attention. And when I was I was taking classes at AR, and it was a writing class, and I was explaining to the kid in the class because I was older. I was already out of the military. I was like, look, don't pay attention to the news that's on the front page of the newspaper. Look at these small stories on the inside, because these are the stories that are gonna because you can't do shit about what's on the front page,
Right.
but these small stories on the inside, these are the stories that you need to pay attention to, because this is the shit that's coming if you're not aware of.
Right. Yeah, it's the little stuff that's hitting all around us with local elections, that sort of
They've been saying since fucking Timothy McVeigh and that fucking shit happened with the Oklahoma bombing, that the number one biggest group to go after that's a danger to America are white supremacist groups like Oath Keepers. It's just this is not new. Yeah. They've known and they've just
and with the fucking trial that's going on and the fucking latest shooting and all the other, it's like America's shit is floated to the surface. Pay the fucking attention to it. Deal with the shit now, so that we're not dealing, so that your kids and grandkids aren't dealing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
this is our chance to fucking clean house or turn coins. Every 20 fucking years or so, the universe gives us a chance to right the ship, and we like to double down.
And the Republican Party, for the most part,
is doubling down.
And not stepping up and saying there are exceptions. Adam Kinzinger is one of the exceptions.
Yes.
But they're not stepping up and saying these fucking fascists do not belong as part of what we represent.
Yes.
Anybody can call what was said was anyone can call themselves a Republican. This is what Kinzinger said. We don't have to claim them.
Yep.
And the fact that they are being claimed and they are being allowed to caucus with all of these Republicans and they're being put on committees and they're doing all of this other stuff is one political party who is flat out saying to the American people that we back this cult of personality fascism more than we back the ideals that our country was actually founded on. They like to talk about how they're about what the country was founded on. But when it really comes down to it, they are not.
The ex-prime minister of Australia was on CNN today, and he was talking about how Fox News and the Murdochs have fucked up. And he's a conservative.
Sure.
And he's talked about how they are fucked up. They did to America what Putin wanted to do in the disinformation campaign.
Right.
They have done it and are continuing to do it. And he's a conservative because he understands that this will be more damage to the country than anything. They really don't understand how much they're playing with fire. And I hope the corporations stick to their guns and make sure that, I think I saw LinkedIn's founder said that they were going to stop donating to Republicans that are against the Voting Rights Act.
And a lot of companies said that they were going to do that, and they did for 6 weeks, and then it went right back.
Yeah.
Because people aren't watching. They're not being vigilant with it. So it's a quiet donation to this and a little bit to this because that's business as usual. Kick to both sides. So when stuff comes up, you've got people on both sides that are there to help look out for your interests.
And I want to know who the motherfuckers gave Marjorie Taylor Greene $3.2 million.
It's a good question. Might have been her dad.
That could have been it.
Yeah. Let's go to morons from around the world. To Quebec first, in Canada. The gym that defied lockdown has been linked to at least 580 infections and 1 death from COVID. The gym owner had shared social posts playing down the virus and the need for masks. And city officials are trying to figure out how a single Quebec City gym that refused to obey lockdown orders could have been linked to almost 600 people, including a 40-year-old man who died after contracting COVID. Health authorities told CBC that Mega Fitness Gym, great name, had broken at least 3 public health orders before it was forced to shut down March 31st, just as the city was placed under another lockdown amid surging infection rates. It's happening in other places too.
Yeah.
You know, we look at New Zealand and Australia and go, well, look at them. Well, they're also islands,
Yeah.
far away from other people. It's a little easier for them to go, hey. And you also have to have cooperation. You can't have a bunch of morons doing that. The outbreak has prompted local health authorities to conduct an epidemiological investigation into how the virus is able to spread so rapidly and whether the infections were caused by the deadly UK variant. Now, the gym owner, Dan Marino, no relation to the quarterback, has protested government-mandated business closures by reopening his facility in the middle of a province-wide lockdown last summer. According to the CBC, the gym owner had shared social media posts that downplayed the seriousness of the virus and cast doubt over the necessity of wearing face masks. Back in June, police showed up at his gym after receiving a complaint that he had hosted a 5 a.m. grand reopening of his family business. He told a local daily newspaper that after touring the business, police officers left without imposing any fines or ordering to shut the doors again. He said, I was not surprised by the presence of the police, and I told them to do their job as I did mine, adding that he had taken the necessary precautions to keep his clients safe.
Apparently not. And if I were the local businesses, I would sue his ass for prolonging the fucking mandate or the closure.
Yeah. He says his biggest fear is going bankrupt. I have nothing to lose. If I'm fined $50,000, I'll add it to my debts. Either way, it won't make a difference since I'm going to go bankrupt. I've invested 25 years of my life in the business, and I don't want to go out of business without doing anything. I get it. I get you got a business, and I get that it's your life. I really fucking do. I understand that. But Jesus Christ, if we as a society would have yanked our heads out of our fucking asses, this would all be behind us by now.
Yeah.
This would be behind us by now.
And fuck him and fuck anybody else that says shit like this, because you can fucking pivot, and so many people did fucking pivot to different things.
Well,
and
the problem with gyms is
when
you're closed. No, I get what you're saying. You can do online classes. You can do all of these things.
He could have his trainers come in and do classes there and use his Wi-Fi there. He could have the gym open for one person at a time. There's certain things he could have done to try to fucking pivot.
You can't open for when they were doing the closures. You couldn't open for one at a time. In Quebec, if you were out after 8 p.m., they had curfew and shit. So it was a hardcore lockdown, and now they're going to go back into lockdown again. Yeah. But I get it, but doing shit like this makes it worse, not better. And not seeing that makes you a bigger part of the problem.
Yeah.
Breaking news, former Vice President Walter Mondale is now dead, 93.
He wasn't already?
It's breaking news on TMZ.com. Walter Mondale, dead at 93. Another Canadian dipshit is a lawmaker. He put on a really big show when he got buck naked during a virtual parliament meeting. His name is William Amos, and he joined...
William Anus?
Amos.
Oh, I think that Anus.
He virtually joined a House of Commons meeting on Wednesday, but he had just gotten home from a jog, and he needed to change into his work clothes. Made sense, but... screenshots are out there. He forgot to turn off his camera and ended up freeing his willy in front of all of his fellow lawmakers. He managed to cover his manhood with what looks like a cell phone. He was flanked by both a Canadian and Quebec flag, because of course he was. He's in good shape. He shouldn't be too embarrassed, but he did apologize, telling CTV News it was an unfortunate error, adding, I sincerely apologize to my colleagues in the House of Commons for this unintentional distraction. The meeting continued, and the party whip, Claude de Bellefeuille, playfully jabbed at Amos, saying, it may be necessary to remind members, especially the male ones, that a tie and jacket are obligatory, but so are a shirt, boxer shorts, or pants. She did have a compliment for him, though, adding, we have seen that the member is in great physical shape.
We've seen the member's member.
It's true. And now to Great Britain. Speaking of Zoom calls and idiots, well, this one's not so bad. It's just kind of a dumb guy. So he bought a green morph suit, and if you're unfamiliar with that, that's just a green suit that covers your whole body, except his face was not covered. And he thought that if he had that green suit on, he'd be able to walk back and forth behind his wife's Zoom meetings, and he wouldn't be seen. Here's the problem. His wife was not using a green screen.
Oops.
Not using a green screen at all. So it didn't turn into anything but this idiot in a green suit walking back and forth with just his face showing in the back of the Zoom meeting. He's being mocked, as he should be.
Yes.
I mean, dumb guy.
So she wasn't even. She didn't even have one of those fake
No.
backgrounds up.
No.
Oh,
No. It's a wall with like their family pictures and stuff on them, and like a thing that says love.
that's funny. Like what the fuck, dude?
These Zoom meetings.
And once you submit that form, you'll be able to get that request in a few days. So you'll reach out to that.
Well, and he would go by and he would do like a little wave, and you could still see him. And all I could think of was Jason doing this with Christine, as he's wearing a green shirt right now.
Hell no, man. She's the moneymaker.
Right, you go right behind in the thing, and they're like, all right.
No, I have, because she's in the living room. I have before, like, I'm like, hey, they can't see the screen right now, can they? Because I'll be playing sometimes if like the kids are down, like one's down for a nap and the other one's doing her letters or her computer work.
Sure.
I'll play some video games, and because the kid can't see what I'm playing, I might play something that's a little bit more violent. Like you can't. Nobody can see the screen right now, right?
Computer work. You say you got the toddler doing data entry on the side.
She works on the ABC mouse.
Ah,
The 4-year-old, yeah.
Okay.
Which is cool. I mean, she learns. She does learn shit from it.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, back to the United States, where a moron from Ohio.
Florida to North.
Well, he made a trip to New York City.
Ooh.
Yeah. Things didn't go quite as he had planned in New York City. He made it to the Times Square subway station.
18-year-old Sadiq Teague from Canal, Winchester, Ohio, that's south of Columbus, exits the subway, escorted by NYPD, who spent all Friday afternoon and evening questioning him about this rifle. Officers on routine patrol midday Friday in the mezzanine area that connects stations in Times Square and Port Authority say they saw a man standing by a charging station with the AK-47. Commissioner Shea posted details on Twitter. Quote, "This story could have had a tragically different ending, but thanks to the diligent cops, it ends with the suspect in handcuffs."
You've seen a lot of things on the news about stabbings and whatnot. So it does, at the back of my mind, makes me feel a little scared. But at the same time, I do travel to go to work.
John, Sam, and Deborah Archer take the A train from Far Rockaway to Midtown. They stay aware.
I just look at my surroundings and be aware of it.
Well, I usually have my headphones in, but I do have it on very low, and I do pay attention to my surroundings. Sometimes you'll see people arguing or what have you.
Police say Teague was arrested without incident. They say they also found ammunition and something that looked like a gas mask. He's facing multiple charges of criminal possession and also criminal possession of drug paraphernalia. Those are weapons possessions as well. Just bringing a gun into the city, even driving through, requires multiple checks and permits and conversations with NYPD.
Yeah, he's going to jail for at least, I think it's 4 years minimum.
Yeah.
Hey, dumbass, you ever heard of a guy called Plaxico Burst?
Don't know.
New York City does not play with gun laws.
They do not.
They do not.
Come on, man.
One of yours, Kareem.
Yeah, oh, I know.
Yeah.
Like look, you can, if you can get away with it, you get away with it. But if they catch you, your ass is going to jail.
Well, and arrested without incident. So
Yes.
it was nice to see cops arrest a black guy and not have it turn into something
Like
ugly.
you are not in Ohio.
No, or Indiana for that matter.
Cannot get away with that shit in New York City.
Or Arkansas, where moments after being released from custody, an Arkansas man stole a police car that was parked in front of the jail, which then earned him a trip back behind bars. Cordell Coleman, who's 33, drove away from the Pulaski County Jail around 2:40 a.m. in a marked Little Rock Police Department SUV. Surveillance camera recorded him entering the unlocked 2018 Ford Explorer, which was parked near a jail Sally Port. Coleman has been released from custody following a public intoxication arrest earlier in the day, and the stolen vehicle had been driven to the jail by an officer who was assisting with the booking of a prisoner. After completing the process, I returned to discover my patrol vehicle had been taken. Well, maybe don't leave it unlocked, fool.
Man, he wanted this. His wife must be a bear.
Investigators quickly tracked the wheels to an apartment complex about 10 miles from the jail where Coleman was found inside the vehicle. He was the last prisoner released from jail. He was then arrested and brought back. While he was handcuffed in the back of the cruiser, a dash cam recorded the cop asking him, "What kind of decision-making you doing tonight, man? Why are you doing that?" His mumbling response was unintelligible.
So they let him out without him being sober?
They let him out without him being coherent.
Wow.
Oh yeah, they do that. When my mom before she got right before she got sober, with the incident that caused her to get sober, she was taken in by Butte County Sheriff, all right, on a domestic abuse thing. Or not even that wasn't domestic, that she tried to hit the cop or something like that, but she was out of her mind, 5150. But they took her to jail.
Yeah.
Then that morning they let her out of jail, put her on a bus, and she was out of her mind. Had been doing drugs for years.
Yeah.
And just put her on a fucking bus. Just put her on a bus, and she was in a crack house, pretty much in Chico. You wouldn't think there was one in Chico.
Oh no, I would.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Chico, and I would think there's probably two of them at least.
Yeah, she was, and it's just not. It's just fucking. I fucking 100% believe it. She was still fucking high when they let her go, for sure.
Yeah. Dear police officers, lock your car.
Yeah.
Lock it. By the way, I've heard this on a public service announcement. Lock it and pocket the key.
Yeah, that might.
Fool.
Yeah.
By the way,
even if you leave it unlocked,
take the key.
Take the key.
I almost feel like she shouldn't be the guy should not be held responsible.
The cop that left the car parked there with the keys in the ignition needs to get a spanking of some sort.
Yes.
That cannot just go. I mean, and aside from being heartily mocked by everybody on the force, because that's happening already, that's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough. You guys been to a Dollar General?
Yes.
Oh, without a doubt.
Sure.
I'm from North Carolina. There are a bunch of.
Do you ever need to break a big bill at the Dollar General?
I have not. I haven't even thought about it.
Well, two women in Tennessee tried to use a $1 million bill to buy some merchandise at the Dollar General store.
Come on now. This is a fucking joke.
It's not. According to investigators, the two of them appeared last Monday morning at the convenience store in Maryville, which is just outside of Knoxville. Their attempt to use the counterfeit bill was thwarted by a sentient Dollar General employee who called the cops. Oh, really? You notice that there's no $1 million bill, Dollar General employee?
Wow.
And that anybody with $1 million bill is probably not shopping at the Dollar General?
Right.
A sheriff's deputy went there and for the suspicious incident, spoke with Amanda McCormick, who's 39. She possessed the counterfeit bill. McCormick, who lives about 4 miles from the store, was accompanied by a relative, Linda Johnson, who's 61. McCormick told the cops that she received the $1 million bill in the mail from a church. Jesus sent me $1 million bill.
Oh, my God.
She was unable to provide additional information about the purported house of worship's location. As detailed in the sheriff's report, McCormick had a shopping cart full of various items from inside the store, including several gift cards to various businesses. She claimed she was going to use the money to purchase items for care packages for homeless individuals.
So she sent them some money and they said, we're going to send you $1 million. You're going to be blessed with $1 million, and we want you to bless other people with that $1 million.
Now, when her companion Ms. Johnson was questioned. She disavowed any knowledge of the $1 million bill, said she was only riding with Ms. McCormick on the running errands. Now, while the incident was classified by the sheriff as fraud by false pretenses, McCormick and Johnson were not arrested. Instead, they were issued a verbal no trespass warning, and they can no longer go and shop at the Dollar General store.
Nobody.
The bill was confiscated by police and put into evidence. The report does not address several obvious questions, like why did they think a church would give them $1 million? Was McCormick actually under the impression the United States Mint had produced a $1 million bill? Did she plan on loading gift cards with 6-digit sums, or did she expect the Dollar General to make change for $1 million?
Wow.
We don't know the answers to that. But we do know this. White lady tries to pass $1 million bill, let off with a warning, can't go back to Dollar General.
Yes.
And I think we know what happened to George Floyd.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to hell.
And that's what happens when you do that.
Lean back, relax, and enjoy. Sex toy news.
All right. Hey, who burglarizes a home and steals the residents' used sex toys?
You.
An ex.
Well, the answer is Michael Holden, who's 37. He's facing multiple charges in connection with a break-in in Tyrone, which is about 90 miles east of Pittsburgh. Investigators allege that Holden entered the 35-year-old victim's home after she'd fallen asleep on her couch. Holden, cops charged, stole $700 in cash, various bank cards, and the woman's sex toys, which were valued at $160.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a neighbor who had seen a man entering the woman's home described the intruder, leading the victim to conclude that it was Holden, an acquaintance of hers who lives a block away. When the woman and her boyfriend confronted him, he reportedly admitted to being inside her residence, spotting money on the floor. Additionally, the neighbor's surveillance camera recorded the man wearing glasses and a Pittsburgh Pirates cap entering the home. A cop who had prior encounters with Holden noted in the affidavit that Holden was wearing some sort of Pittsburgh Pirates headgear and glasses each time. He's been charged with burglary, criminal trespass, and theft. His rap sheet includes convictions for assault, contempt, and criminal trespass. He's facing disorderly conduct and public drunkenness charges stemming from an arrest last month, too. We do not know whether the sex toys or the stolen goods were recovered by police. Or would you want yours?
I wouldn't want it back.
Right? Somebody else touches the sex toys, they're tainted.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, in his mugshot, his head's enormous. He looks like the Great Gazoo.
Yeah.
Great Gazoo.
Or like a relative of Helena Bonham Carter's from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh. Nice pull.
Who steals?
What's that?
It's just crazy.
It is.
I wish I hope he was wearing one of those old time pirate baseball caps with the stripes.
The barrel ones, yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the mugshot, so I don't know.
It's like that's fucking Holden with his throwback cap.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, 2 women left a 4-year-old boy unattended in a car while they shopped Saturday evening at an adult novelty store in Connecticut. A state trooper was dispatched around 8 p.m. to the Amazing Intimate Essentials adult store after witnesses dialed 911 to report a child alone in the vehicle. Now, back when we were kids, and you were 4 and left in the car for a few minutes, no one cared. Now, everyone calls 911. The trooper subsequently located the boy alone inside the automobile, determined that the child's mother and her partner had been inside the store for approximately 15 minutes purchasing items. Or, as the 70s would say, what's your problem?
Exactly.
While the child was left unsupervised in the vehicle. Police then arrested Victoria Mortensen, the child's 25-year-old mother, and Monet Blake, who's 28. Mortensen was charged with risk of injury to a child and leaving a child unsupervised in a motor vehicle. Blake was charged with leaving a child unsupervised in a motor vehicle. Mortensen and Blake live together in Utica, New York. What a lovely place. They are scheduled for a May 11th court appearance. The police report notes that Connecticut's Child Welfare Agency was notified of the duo's arrest. I don't know what that does if you live in Utica. And, did they make a road trip to Connecticut for sex toys? I mean,
Yeah.
that's weird.
Yeah.
You know, you can order them in the mail. Just saying.
Guess they had to see if they fit.
I don't believe you can try them on like that. I mean, the fitting rooms at Target aren't open right now. I can't imagine the sex toy store is any different.
Probably not.
You never know.
I just like, it makes me sad. Like, nobody ever called the cops on my dad leaving me outside the bar in his car for like hours.
Yeah, it was back in the day.
Oh, man.
I'm like 11, 12 years old, sitting in a fucking truck.
Yeah, it was back in the day. It was fine.
In the sun.
You leave a crack in the window and you lock the door.
Yeah. Maybe turn the key backwards so that they can listen to the radio.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, if somebody calls me, come get me.
Yeah.
Because he had the phone in the car.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy. Hey, we mentioned masks a little bit earlier in the show. Well, there was a lady in Austin, Texas who needed to be dealt with.
Lying. Stop. This is the second time I caught you in a lie.
Okay. Replay your video. I'm not lying.
Okay. Okay.
You're making the situation worse.
No, you are. By not following the law. First of all, I don't have to identify myself.
Yes, you do.
Actually, I don't. It's called common law. You should read up on it. I do not. Okay? So we both know that I don't. I am a woman of God. This is my right as much as it is yours. This is my land as much as it is yours. I did not sign up for this. I am a Christian woman of God, and you are not going to put your disgusting rules on me that are false and not true. I will.
Okay. You can't come in the Norbston rack without a mask.
And the cop slapped some handcuffs on her right after she said that.
How the fuck? What's the fucking matter with these fucking people, man? These fucking people.
I am a Christian woman of God. White lady, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, as soon as she said, I'm a Christian woman of God. Well, I don't know. I know somebody that say that.
Yeah, they don't say that.
I will not have it. I'm sick of being bullied. I'm sick of being lied to, and it's not going to happen anymore. Do you understand?
She was clapping.
The CDC just released. Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
And that was when the cop grabbed her arm and threw the handcuffs on her. Oh my god! Because she did one too many of these finger gestures, a little too far in the direction of the employee, and that is when it became a threat.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we're done with this.
We are all done. He stood there. I was wondering who was going to do anything. He stood there for a while. Also in Texas, I've got some bad news if you live in Texas. You remember how this winter the power grid went down when there were storms because there was all this demand for electricity?
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, and follow me on this one.
Okay.
And this is from the Texas Tribune, by the way. This isn't just from some liberal rag out of New York City. This is from the Texas Tribune. Severe weather this summer could cause another Texas power crisis.
No.
Yeah, I mean, crazy, right?
I just can't believe it.
Unbelievable.
But capitalism works.
Yeah.
The free market works when it comes to energy, to public utilities.
Unfettered capitalism does not.
Well,
Oh, come on. No, I mean, it would. They'll solve it, guys. They'll solve it.
yeah, it's going to be...
Milton Friedman told y'all a goddamn lie.
Yeah. So it could be a rough summer in Texas, said the man who has PG&E. Good news out of Las Vegas, Jason. Strip clubs and dancers hope to be shedding pasties as the pandemic rules there are being eased.
Oh, OnlyFans is pissed right now.
Well, you know. Before the coronavirus pandemic, Sasha was making up to $2,000 a night as an exotic dancer. But since the club where she worked, Little Darlings, I'm not an investor. Sorry.
No.
I wish I were.
What do you know about Little Darlings, Kareem? At least the ones in San Francisco and the one in I don't know if you've been to the San Diego one, but
I've been to the one in San Francisco.
And what do you know about that one?
Well, you're gonna have to enlighten me because I haven't been to one.
Well, let's just say there's the Peppermint Rhino and then there's Little Darlings.
You mean the Spearmint Rhino?
Spearmint Rhino, yeah. Peppermint Spearmint.
Are you saying it's the Dollar General of strip clubs?
I would say that it's a place if you want to go hang out with the strippers and maybe get a handy in the back room for $25. That's the place you go to Little Darlings. Not that I've never done that. I've never done that, but
sure.
I know people that go there on a regular, and that's one of those things that can happen.
All right. Well, Sasha, her stage name, has been living off her savings since they closed almost a year ago. She even, and this is really what happens. she had to quit taking classes at UNLV because of her financial situation.
Ooh.
She's hoping she's literally stripping her way through school. She is that story. She said it's been really hard to keep afloat. I'm ready. I'm past ready. While casinos and other businesses reopened after the March 2020 coronavirus shutdown with restrictions, strip clubs have struggled under state rules that prohibit its core attraction, nude or topless women and lap dances. I don't know why titties have anything to do with coronavirus, but there you go. Starting May 1st, the state ban will be lifted under a plan by Governor Steve Sisolak, who passed more control over to reopening to counties. Now, while a Clark County mitigation plan would allow for topless dancers, it would still prohibit lap dances, as entertainers would have to maintain a 6-foot distance from patrons. That's going to make it hard to get those hand jobs, Jason. Mm-hmm. Unless she's a really tall lady with a long arm.
Yeah, long reach.
long reach. But, yeah, that's...
I'm going to say something real quick because, like, I saw a TikTok about this. One was like, do not normalize OnlyFans. It's not. And I'm going to say a couple of things about this real quick. First of all, I don't think that sex workers aren't, like, I feel like that should be looked at as being legitimate. because I don't think that if it was legitimate, then people couldn't be underhanded about it as much. Strip clubs have been shut down for a year. And there's plenty of people that work in strip clubs. And OnlyFans is only one of the few legitimate ways that people can make money if they're strippers during the pandemic. It's the only way.
Look at me. What?
And I would understand that somebody going to UNLV for their college education would not be able to would not do OnlyFans because it would be in the media at that point. But I just want to say, like, I think that that's important to look at, like, this idea and whatnot. It puts it in their hands, most likely also. You know what I mean? Like, OnlyFans is not being run by other people. It's usually them doing it themselves.
So,
come on now.
That actually was what I was going to talk about before my mom called me on the way here. Because there's a guy named Kevin Samuels who's blown up. He's a black guy who tells women like it is. And so he was talking to some OnlyFans people on another podcast. And
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
he did not say that. But him and the guy up there, the only thing with the OnlyFans things is, and I love the way that they described it. They described it like athletes. So you know how athletes, when you're young, you get all of that money, and he's like, you do that OnlyFans. Don't think that's you've made it from OnlyFans, because that money's going to run out, because there's always going to be turnover on that. So there's always going to be somebody else, and we're coming out of the lockdown. So cats who couldn't go to the strip club and was giving you money on OnlyFans, that money's going to now go to the strip club, not to OnlyFans. Woo! So that's the only part of that. And then the thing is, if you think that that's all you got to do and you don't develop any other skills, well, what the fuck's going to happen in 10 years?
I mean, like, that's...
Come down later for moose soup.
I mean, that's the same thing you would say to a stripper, though, too. You know what I mean? Like, that's the same thing. Like, a stripper's not going to be doing it 15 years from now, 20 years from now, necessarily, either, you know? I mean, they might, but...
I've seen some with some stretch marks.
Me too. Yeah, you've been to Little Darlings.
Hey, and if you want to do it, fine.
Yeah.
But don't do it and think that that's the, you know, it's like they explained, it's like the athletes that, okay, you get the bag and then you think that that's it, and then you end up broke 20 years later because...
Well, and there's all different levels of women that are on there, too. I mean, there's some women that are on there doing hardcore, and then there's women on there that are just doing, like, some pinup stuff. Like, there's the whole gamut. And
there are women on there that have kids in Catholic school in Sacramento.
Yeah,
that are making bank.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
But that woman is probably smart enough to be investing her money.
Look, that woman had money.
Yeah.
They were not a couple that were doing it because they were hard up for money.
It was their kink.
Yeah.
They were doing it because they wanted to liven up their marriage. And
Yeah.
whatever, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. Just like if you want to get pegged in the ass, ask your wife.
Yes.
Just ask your wife first.
Yeah.
Ask her first.
Yeah, it's better than cheating on your wife.
Then when you do cheat on her, you're like,
well, then she may go, you know what? I'm not doing that, but here's a hall pass. Feel free to go out and do that.
Yes.
And then you've had that open communication.
And that's all that matters.
Sure.
Then it's not cheating.
Yes. Yeah. Follow up from last week. Yes. It's communicating and getting it done right.
Come down for moose soup after.
Yeah.
And there's a documentary on OnlyFans on Hulu too.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's
There's too many fucking documentaries. Can I just say that? I've had an impacted ass full of documentaries. There's a documentary about everything. Literally fucking... Oh, hold on.
And now it's time for the airing of fucking grievances.
I wasn't going to do this. I was going to do a BuzzFeed thing about things people love and hate about Americans, but no! No, we're done. I'm ending on a fucking rant because it's my show. I am tired. I'm exhausted of the documentaries about literally everything. Oh, hey, did you see the documentary about this? No, I didn't. Hey, you know there's another documentary about this. There were two about the fucking Fire Festival.
Yeah, there were.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you could watch the same guy talk about how he'd give head twice.
And let me just tell you, right, and let me just make this real clear. Most of them suck. They suck so bad. I long to go back to a time when someone said documentary and everyone rolled their eyes and went, oh, fuck off. Not, a documentary. Is it a 5-parter on HBO Max? I'm in. Not that I haven't watched those and not there isn't a place for some of them, because there is, but Jesus fucking Christ, I have reached my saturation point with these motherfucking documentaries on every single outlet all the time. It's exhausting, and I cannot keep up with them. Can't do it anymore.
He can't keep up. That's what it was.
I think he's just more like you just upset that he can't keep up with
it would be easier to keep.
I don't know, man.
It would be easier.
We're talking about a guy that used to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm not.
Not a documentary.
I'm just
not
saying,
a documentary.
I'm just saying, like the bar.
Let me tell you something. I'm fine with that. It would be easier to keep track of the K-pop bands than it is the number of fucking documentaries that are on literally everything. Because any asshole with a camera and a microphone can make a documentary, and they have.
Yeah.
And they do.
Yeah. They went like, I can be Michael Moore. No, you can't.
No.
Michael Moore can't even be Michael Moore anymore.
Right? He's tapped out. He had a certain amount in his bag of tricks, and it's all over. Just like this show. This episode is all over. All over. See if we have any comments on the... Got some thumbs up, so very excited. Thanks, everybody, for popping in if you've watched the show tonight. We love having you. If you're somebody who's downloaded the show and listening, we love you, too. Thank you so much for doing that. Wherever you get your podcast, please go and give us a 5-star click. Write a review if you'd like. And tell your friends about it. If you've got friends that you think would like what we do here because they like the same things you do, tell them it's a documentary. Hey, there are these 3 assholes in Sacramento that do a documentary every Monday. They're like, woo, a documentary. I am so excited. Woo, woo, another documentary. Woo, oh my God. Woo. I just watched a documentary about WeWork. You know what? The guy who founded WeWork, he was an asshole. Woo! Let me. Spoiler alert. When you get to the end of your documentary, the person at the heart of it, probably an asshole.
Even the one about Elmo, the guy who played Elmo ended up with him being an asshole. Well,
woo! Why did you kill me? Even the mom in that one ended up being an asshole.
So many assholes. I mean, and that at the core of what we are here is don't be an asshole.
Don't do it.
Leslie, I'm coming home. We can watch that documentary now.
Woo! I'm going to sleep to one tonight.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Stay safe out there. Be well. And again, don't be an asshole. For my friend Jason back in studio.
What up? Bye.
And Kareem as well. I am Nate. We will see you next time on the WTH podcast. Do me a favor and go ahead and be good. Hold on, I need to go over here to Brand so I can play the ending and have it make sense. Darling New Media, here to help you tell your story.